can't believe it's only game 3 and Arsenal have dropped points already. Title over.
Yeah, it was a tough one to take, that one.
I know. Is it a good point, or is it 2 points dropped, or what?
No. It's got to be 2 points dropped simply because you're at home and they know that you can't drop points at home when you're going for what Arsenal are trying to achieve at the end of the season. So, you know, when you look at the way that they dropped the points, obviously it's massively disappointing, but we can't get past the fact it's 3 games and you're going to have to make that up somewhere along the line. But it was disappointing.
Teams will drop points across the course of the season. I know they don't drop many points now. If you want to go and win the title, it's tougher than it ever has been. But you know, so is it the worst thing in the world?
No, because they didn't lose. But like I say, the most disappointing thing is probably the manner in which they lost and you know, obviously Declan being sent off. It gave Brighton the impetus and they made some very good substitutions. João Pedro, like we've been talking, is very, very dangerous. And in the end, I think that you have to really be happy that you got that point in the way that they were finishing the game.
Do you want to talk about the decision and get it out of the way?
What decision? I didn't see any.
Well, the decision, what decision? Do you think
Declan
Rice was correctly booked twice for these incidents?
Like they're saying, like you see the ball's moving now, right? So the ball's moving. So we're talking about letter of the law and we're talking about consistency. I was talking about Darren. So if we are going for the letter of the law and we are going for consistency, then that's not ready to be taken because it's still moving. So then they should have had a look at that and said, well, OK, well, the ball was moving, so you can't restart play because the ball... But then I heard this on 24 Hours. I'm hearing ex-referees come out and saying, OK, that was interesting because nobody mentioned that fact. And that is letter of the law. If the ball's moving, then you can't take the restart. So those things should be taken into consideration. We've got referees upstairs who know these rules. I didn't know it. You know what I mean? I didn't know it, but they know it. So they should have said, hang on a minute, the ball was moving, so he wouldn't be able to take the restart anyway. So when you go into it that deeply, like I obviously have over the weekend, you know, and you think to yourself, OK, probably let down by consistency again.
It does feel harsh, that second yellow, doesn't it?
Oh, it's incredibly harsh. I don't want to see games of football decided by that. That was a really good game of football. And if Arsenal would have had 11 players, they would have won, more than likely. So I think the 60, 70,000 that come in, they want to watch football. They don't want to watch a technicality of maybe a little kicker. I know maybe the way the law's written...
Even if that was a first yellow, I mean, obviously there's a spotlight on it because it was a second and he got sent off. But even if that was a first yellow, we'd still be at least acknowledging it today because it just feels strange.
Premier League games shouldn't be decided by that. It should be decided by these brilliant players that we have. And I know the way the law's written, it probably is deemed a yellow. But it comes back to football players, feel. The ref's got to have a bit of feel in that moment. You know, it's a really good game. Yeah, OK, it's a bit emotional and he moves the ball. Wright makes a great point. The ball's moving, so you can't take it. So in that sense, I think it's crazy harsh. Declan, you know, he's close, ball's moving, just a little move. That's not a yellow card.
You could see as well that Veltman... Yeah, this happened. You know who used to do this to me a lot? Francis Benali at Southampton. You know, because when you get the free kick, you go in front of it, Kel, and then you start walking away, because obviously they can't book you for trying to go and get 10 yards. So you go and you try to walk away, but then they kick it against you, and then you get booked. Yeah. They've got to see these things now. But
you also would have been the player who standing opposite Declan Rice going, well, lash for the law. So.
Danny Webber was saying, it's a yellow.
Yeah, you see it. I mean, you know, there's nothing I can do there.
That face that says, come on, it's a yellow. But Declan done what all of us do when, especially that stage of the game, you know what I mean, you're that far up in the pitch, up in the other end of the pitch, you're just going to delay and just start jogging probably. And, you know, people say, well, Declan shouldn't have done that. You know, he's probably gets away with it on week in, week out. Obviously, they're going to clamp down on it this season. So I'll be looking out for it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be plenty of yellow cards flying around for that. It's hard to say that's deliberate, isn't it?
It is, but I'm in a minority today, because I'm going to back up the referee.
Well, do you know what? If there's a question mark around it, then it can't be overturned.
No, I just think that Declan's had a bad day. He's a fantastic player, but the first tackle, he's not going to win the ball, and he goes launching in, and he gets the yellow card. He knows he's on the yellow card, and then he puts himself in a position to get carded again. Now, again, the PGMOL, they give us all the rules before the season begins, and they tell us what the threshold's going to be. And they tell us Law 12 means if you do... Sorry about being a bit of a geek on this.
No,
if you do attempt to delay the restart by kicking the ball away, and they're very specific about it as well in the laws, then you're going to get cautioned. So he knows the rules, the players know the rules, we know the rules, and...
But what about the João Pedro one?
Exactly. I was about to go back to that one. Mm-hmm. There are Arsenal fans online who have made, across this weekend alone, a list of players across the Premier League who have not been penalised for exactly that kind of thing.
I mean, it was kicked out of the stadium, João Pedro.
Absolutely. It was absolutely ridiculous in the same game.
In the other matches going to be stood down for the next round of Premier League matches, and then we've got enough referees to...
I mean, I think that there are two separate issues, which is, one, did Rice put himself in a position to be sent off? Yes, he did. Yeah. Is there a problem with consistency? Yes, there is. And I think definitely that has to be
field, right? We've got to have... Yeah. Let's let the players decide matches, unless it's really obvious. And I don't think that was... Just felt a bit great, didn't it?
Yes, but I think you're both right. I think that's his 245th match, his first sending off, right? But he's experienced enough not to put himself in a position like that.
Yeah, he'll be kicking himself more than anyone.
Yeah, and I think he has to take a little bit of responsibility.
Yes, he does. But then we've got to stop talking about everything being to the letter of the law, because that wasn't to the letter of the law.
No, I do agree with that, and I think that all I'm saying is you do not put yourself in a position to be sent off. Because if you look at that footage, as the referee's taking out the card, he shrugs and he's saying, you know, what can I do? And you see him, watch him coming in, you see him shrug and you see him do that movement with his right leg, not that movement, the one afterwards, where he basically says, what can I do? Look.
You know what he can do? I'll tell you what
Danny Welbeck is funny there, though.
But what he can do is, because like the ball is dead, so they can be checking upstairs because they can see it, and he can say, well, actually, if we're doing to the letter of the law, the ball's moving. Yeah. That's what they can do there. Yeah. Now, I'm not exonerating Declan, but that's what they can do. So,
and all of those. So maybe I said there were two.
You guys are good lawyers, by the way. I believe you both.
I just like to believe. I'm convincing the jury.
Convincing the jury. Maybe it's not two things. Maybe it's the three things in terms of consistency, because there are cases where referees will let the free kick go if the ball is rolling. Yeah. There are cases where it's not. But I just feel that he's such a good player, he could take responsibility there.
You know, and the thing we keep saying, the ball hadn't stopped, so they couldn't take the free kick anyway. You can get booked for kicking the ball away, even if they haven't set the ball up for the free kick.
Yeah, but like that was a restart, though, wasn't it? Kelly was saying.
But it hadn't restarted.
No, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, because they couldn't restart because the ball's moving. So.
But that.
But I'm not going to bend. I'm not going to back down on that one.
He's done his research. He knows.
Every time you mention it, I keep thinking, I'm not following this logic at all. Look, what have you made of Arsenal then? We're three games in, and look, it's 2 dropped points. They will drop points across the course of the season. Ideally, it doesn't happen at this stage. But what have you seen from them this time?
Well, I've seen the game plan in the way they're playing from the back through the midfield, getting to Saka, getting chances, Kai Havertz coming in, Trossard cutting in. Everything's working how they want it to work, and it's been fantastic up to that point. I think that my mindset going into it is one of a lot of confidence with the teams that we've got coming up. I thought we'd win all the games up to Tottenham, and then it's the derby, so you see how that goes. But then that one was a bit of a surprise to me, simply because, even though Brighton did get the point, it was a game I went into, not saying, we're going to beat them, but saying the way we're playing, we should beat them at home. And we know that we have to be Arsenal winning home games. So, I got very nervous towards the end because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I think we might lose this game, the way they were finishing it. So that's why I was happy with the point. But in the main, Kels, I am happy with it. But we know that, what Manchester City are capable of doing. And they've already started the season brilliantly. You cannot see them losing at the moment. So any points dropped is going to be a little bit of a nightmare.
I would say, though, that could be a valuable point by the end of the season. Yeah. Brighton look a better side than people give them credit for. And also, Haaland in the last few seasons, he always seems to miss at least a month, 6 weeks or so. He did.
But that's because has he had a summer like he's had this time with a lot of reps?
And he did say it's the first season he started pain-free and feeling really good.
I'm just trying to clutch at straws.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's only because I know we're going to talk about Haaland in a bit.
But you know what? I think if you look at Arsenal, I like Timber looks really good.
Yeah.
Chalafoy came on, he looked good.
Yeah.
And I think Raheem's going to be a good option for them as well. So as good as Arsenal were last year, I actually think they might even be better this year. Yeah. Hopefully they can just stay fit. I think if they stay fit,
especially certain players. We was very fortunate with some of our main players last season not getting injured. Odegaard, Saliba, you know what I mean, and like Saka, Gabby Margaret, all those kind of players that we needed. Declan not getting injured was a massive bonus. Well, hopefully that can happen again.
Sterling is going to be the key one because obviously Saka, they play him so often.
Yeah.
And if Sterling can come in and play on that right-hand side, you've got no dipping quality. In fact, you've got an upgrading quality because he's won 4 Premier League titles. So he brings match-winning experience and the ability to score goals. He's versatile. There's so much about him that is an upgrade in many ways to Saka, but it makes you a lot stronger in the final third.
For him, Sterling is just... didn't come quite out of nowhere. It was certainly a surprise when he'd been linked with Manchester United, and then, ta-da, on deadline day, off he's going to Arsenal.
It made sense. I remember
it does make sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and especially knowing Mikel, knowing how Mikel plays, the way it worked out in the end. Once I heard that Reece Nelson is going to go to Fulham, or he was going to be Ipswich or Fulham, once I heard that was done, I said, then I think Raheem is coming. It's going to be done. And I think when you're looking at his age, his capabilities, the manager he's worked with before, the state of play, he'll know everything in respects of being a rotated player. You know, we had that at City. So if he comes in, and yes, if it is, I don't think it will be. I think it'll probably be the left side more than anything else. I don't know. Hopefully Martinelli will get his form going, but I think that you can even play him in a false 9.
Yeah.
You know, so you're talking about somebody with his experience. With the way this deal's gone, it's absolutely perfect for Arsenal and Raheem Sterling.
Is it perfect for Raheem Sterling as well, do you think, Darren? Because he sort of lost his way again at Chelsea, clearly, with the sort of falling out with the manager and the statement that may or may not have been put out by his representatives. What do you think?
I think it's a perfect move for him. And I look at the progress of Kai Havertz, who's now scored 18 goals in the last 21 games. I look at Jorginho, who helped challenge for the title in the last couple of seasons as well. Both of them were players that Chelsea thought were no longer good enough to play for them. They've gone to a settled side under a manager with a plan. I think signing for us.
No family, I know, uprooting of the family and that, Kells. Everything's just worked perfect for him. His first game he qualifies for is against Tottenham. He could score in that game, you know, become an instant hero. It's all panning out well for
You've got the whole future.
As soon as he signed, I had all his whole plan. I'm delighted with it.
Did you text him as soon as he did it? Or did
Absolutely.
I knew you would have done it.
Because honestly, I'm not even just saying it. You know, sometimes you see a player in a shirt, you can instantly say, that shirt suits him.
Yeah.
It does.
Thank you.
Some moves feel right. And this
absolutely.
one, I don't know why. The other one from this, just as an aside, and we are going to go to break in a second, some moves feel right. And this one, I don't know why. The other one from this, just as an aside, and we are going to go to break in a second, Trevor Chalobah going to Crystal Palace. It just feels right. He looks right in the shirt, and it's got a nice feel about it. Anyway, like you said, 2 points dropped against Brighton, which may come the end of the season not be the worst thing, because Brighton look like they've started well, and they look like they're going to improve, and there's going to be more to come from them. I'm sure we'll be talking about them in detail at some stage. But up next, we've touched on Manchester City and we've touched on Erling Haaland, and it's yet another...
Just go inside, so this.
Somebody's there.
You're good, I'm good.
You should run.
نعم يلا.
Spike planted. Last player standing. Flawless.
انا قلت لك يلعب دف ليش بوش نفسك ليش بي
Breaks. I'm out of here.
So they play and retake, right? Maybe.
Don't do it this fast.
We go A and we take C maybe.
Track them down.
Why not C?
Scanning ahead. Enemy spotted A. Saw you, little homie! Crash got a hit! Up and away! Spike down A. Run, little man!
I am damaged the same.
Fine.